I imagine that's how you type, Scott. It's just like full 2 fists down at a time, just like. Hey everybody, welcome to bonus content. Scott and Tony are here.
Hello.
It's Nobshin's birthday. He's out.
Yep, he's fucking gone. He's getting wasted, trashed.
No, he's probably having dinner with his family.
He's like having a nice glass of wine, sipping it, and like sitting in a posh red lounge chair in front of a fireplace with a cigar unlit in his mouth, peering down through half shades, you know.
Yeah, but looking down at a Switch propped up on a kickstand playing Bayonetta.
Yeah, but with a book in his other hand, like thumbed into a page that he's not reading, but every once in a while he'll look over from his Switch to that book, flip the page, and then look back.
Yeah. Exactly.
God, I want that. I want a framed painting of that.
Yeah, if anyone wants to do fan art, do fan art of that.
I will hang it on my wall, 100%.
I would too. Happy birthday, Nobshin.
Happy birthday. It's getting to be that time, man.
Yeah, it's
almost be him, me, then you.
Yeah, your birthday next week, my birthday next month, Scott's birthday like 3 months after.
Scott's birthday never.
Yep.
Months. Are you August or June, Scott? I don't know how I always forget this.
You see, this is fantastic.
How is this fantastic?
Sounds like I don't remember either.
I remember 15 winters ago.
Yeah, a few days ago, I forgot how old I was.
Scott, I gotta know what's going on in your life, like at this moment.
At this very, very
Are you
moment?
like engaged in epic battle?
No, I just think I have my mic set up really loudly.
Yeah, but you've got to be doing something on your fucking keyboard.
It sounds like movement.
Are you Wazdain? Are you playing Prey?
He's like, no, I'm an ESDF guy.
ESDF people are those kind of people that you like see at parties, like loudly drinking by themselves, and you're like, I bet they just aren't happy.
Scott knows that
I'd be a Q caps AS guy if I could.
Oh God, no!
Just gotta have that extra wiggle room on your ring finger.
I really like toggling left movement on and off. Are you really an ESDF guy, Tony?
Not in like traditional MMOs, but I was, because I forced myself to learn it that way years ago when I was playing WoW. I watched a video by a Russian guy. I'll find the video and show it to you because it's excellent. So this Russian dude in a very thick Russian English accent explaining why ESDF is better than WASD. And I forced and he was saying, like, in order to like become better at like, you know, using these keys, you have to commit to it, learn it, and then execute on it. And, you know, it's obviously you're not going to be good at it the second that you start. And me, like 16-year-old impressionable me, is like, this Russian guy probably knows exactly what he's talking about. So I switched all my keybinds from WASD to ESDF, and I used ESDF for the entirety of the rest of me playing WoW. Then I started using that keypad thing. And that resembled ESDF a lot because of the way that the keys are set up. You have an extra row of keys on the left side, which is what the idea behind ESDF is. You get ZAQ to hit for buttons. And I have a larger hand, so it works. I can still, on ESDF, reach Shift, Control, Alt to, you know, do modified keybinds.
You got big, meaty paws.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I am one of those, but only for that game. Like, for every other game, I just use the defaults. I don't, like, go out of my way to switch the keybinds. It's just WoW specifically. That is how I know how to play that game. So if I ever play it again, that will be how I play it. But, like, BDO is the MMO that I'm playing now. I play with the traditional keys.
Yeah, man, but, like, once that new expansion comes out, they'll get you back in.
No, almost certainly not.
Almost for sure, yes.
The only way I would go back is if, like, all my friends were like, hey, we're going to play this. And I was like, fine, because I have no excuse not to.
You'd be excited.
I don't know. I know nothing about it, so I have no reason to be excited or not excited, I guess.
I bet it has Horde, and I bet it has Alliance.
You know, questionable.
It's true.
I'm out. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will not be divided.
Was there ever like a third faction in WoW?
No. Technically, there's the neutral faction that pandas belong to until they choose a side.
Okay.
Wait, let me see if I can find. I'm almost certain that I will not be able to find this video.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of I guess you could say that neutral faction was third faction, but
Oh,
you
I found
can't
it.
choose it.
Mister,
can't be it.
I'm almost certain I won't be able to find this video. It took you about 20 seconds.
Yep. I mean, I searched ESDF keybinds WoW, and it was the second video. So here you go. It's worth listening to for the like first 20 seconds to listen to this guy's voice.
I will. You know what? I'll post.
Yeah, the
this in
reason
our
that why it's
chat.
actual bad is because you're opening up a bunch of more keys for your pinky to hit, where it was already enough on, W, versus the three you have on the other side, which should be able, especially with your big hands, be able to reach U, J, and M with no problem on W.
Oh no, I see. The idea is taking most of the workload off of the index finger and putting it on the ring finger and the pinky instead. But anyway, that guy's voice is great.
This guide is addressed. This guy is great.
It's really good. Like you just listen to it, you're like, this guy knows what he's
What about
talking
your middle, dude? Your middle finger.
It's strictly for W 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Wrong.
I mean,
Wrong.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's personal preference anyway, so like, fuck you. But
Y'all are so cute when you bicker.
Your ring fingers for W.
ring fingers for my ring.
I'm gonna show my ring. My ring fingers for my butt. But
Oh,
I didn't put a ring on it.
if you want it, then you shouldn't put a ring on it. Well, how are you guys doing? How's your week been, Tony? What's up? What's this life-changing revelation you want to?
Oh no, we'll talk about it in games.
That's a video game.
Yeah.
Is it related to Black Desert at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, thank God.
Tangentially.
Okay, how's your week been?
It's been okay. It's been a pretty average week. I got new windshield wipers for my car.
Sure. I have a new one of those. I haven't put them on yet.
They came in a box that was 7 sizes too large.
Nice.
As they typically do when you order them from Amazon. I put them on my car, and then people looked at me like a crazy person because there are a lot of people in my neighborhood that walk around with dogs. And I was reading this thing, and it was like, hey, this comes with an anti-rain coating. And I was like, well, this is probably bullshit, but I'll do it. It said once you put it on, you have to like run them dry on your windshield for like 4 minutes and like the medium speed, and then spray water on them, like the windshield fluid after it to activate it before it rains the first time. So I was like, I mean, fuck it, right? Like maybe it'll work. Rained today. Doesn't really do anything noticeable, but I did it anyway. So I was just sitting there in my car, middle of the day, no moisture at all, just running the windshield wipers on the medium setting, sitting there, just looking at it. I was like watching the windshield wipers go, and people were walking by me, looking in the car, like, "The fuck is going? What is this guy doing?"
That's fucking awesome.
Because where my house is, we're kind of off the road, down a little bit. But I don't park in the driveway. I just park at the end of the driveway, kind of in front of the house. So I'm up like on the street next to where all the people are walking their dogs. So they just walk next to me, and they're like walking past this car. No, it's not wet outside, but windshield wipers are fucking going. So anyway, that's basically my week summed up.
Yeah, it's that's good. I just imagine people just like, it's raining men, can't you tell?
I should have just been blasting that song. Hallelujah,
hallelujah. I mean, you got that fucking anti-rain coating going on, I guess.
It didn't, like I said, it didn't do anything. I was driving the car today and it was raining. It
didn't do much.
Isn't it supposed to snow tomorrow?
Dude.
It was 63 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, dude. Hey man, this is Maryland. This is the world we live in. Highs of 64, lows of 22. It's like, what are you saying to me right now? Yeah, it is. It's supposed to snow tomorrow.
I heard like 1 to 6 inches throughout the day, and I was like, this is stupid.
It's all right. We're almost in March. We're almost out of the winter. Just temperamental winter. Did you get up to anything else? How's work going?
It's fine. It is what it is. It's okay.
Better?
Yeah, I'm feeling fine now. There have been some other circumstances going on, but otherwise it's been okay.
I got sick this week. It was like, it rolls off of you onto me.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Like my first reaction for when you in my head for when you said I got sick this week was to be like, hell yeah, but then I was like, wait.
Nice. No, I'm used to that. No, I think I got the itis, the bronchitis.
Ooh, yeah, I got bronchitis.
Yeah, it's just like my lungs currently feel.
I actually remembered something. I got jury
Yeah?
duty summons today.
Again?
Again.
Do you think you're gonna be a grand jury again?
No, it's for sure not grand jury, but I'm pretty sure if I call them, I'd be like, "Yo, I was on the grand jury."
You can
They'd be
probably
like,
get out of
"Oh,"
it, yeah.
because like I was talking about this earlier. The amount of jurorring that you do on a grand jury in one day is the amount of jury that people do in all of their jury duty for their entire life, and then you repeat that 9 more times.
Yeah.
So like I've done 10 people's worth of jury duty. You should leave me alone.
Yeah. There are other citizens that need to be called on.
But then again, like I'm pretty good at it now. So
Did you have to get put up in a hotel when you were in that?
what's for grand jury?
Yeah.
No, because it was like at the courthouse it wasn't in the courthouse. It was like in Old Ellicott City where the courthouse is.
Mm-hmm.
Across from there is kind of all of the court, like public defender's offices and stuff like that. In one of those offices, there's like a meeting room. So we would go in there, get scanned by security, go up to like the 8th floor, then wait in the lobby, then be called into this grand jury room where we would all sit in there. It was like 18 of us. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about how grand jury works, but
I mean, I'm sure the process is available online. For
yeah.
reading.
But anyway, so yeah, it was. We basically did the 18 of us or however many people there were did like all the grand juroring for like the next 10 days of like all the cases that were going on for like the next like 4 months. So
can you tell us what any of them were about, or
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I know that like that was the time that I did that, which was several years ago. Maryland was much stricter on its drug policy than it is now.
yeah.
So a lot of what we were like presented were like drug related cases, but like we were presented with like strictly felonies and like heinous felonies, not like, oh, this guy had some drug in his pocket. It's more like this guy was transporting like several pounds of cocaine.
Okay.
So stuff like that.
Sometimes you gotta do a little work,
There was some other stuff. There was like some, like there a bunch of other shit. Like I saw all of it, like assault, everything, that kind of stuff.
I've seen it all.
Yeah. Like domestic violence, all of that was that kind of stuff that was presented to us. But anyway, that's what grand jury is, and I thought that carries like a longer like period in which that you cannot be summoned for jury duty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to call him about it because I moved several times and now I'm in a different county than I did grand jury for. So
yeah, I think you'll probably be able to get out of it. I'm not too worried. They got
just show up and be like, yo, I am the most racist person. Listen, low key.
You have never met a man more racist than I promise.
They're like, great, you're in.
Great, you're in. We need more of you. You're like, God, fuck. Oh, no wonder everything's fucked. Scott, how's your week, man?
Pretty boring. I didn't actually start a job on that Monday. It's this Monday I start.
God damn it, Scott.
Sorry. Oh.
Sorry, I forgive you. Did you get up to any shenanigans?
Yeah, I didn't get up to any shenanigans.
Did you map your WoW controls to ESDF?
No,
because the Russian guy told you to do it?
No, it's bad.
This key binding will tell you how to. Fine, in Soviet Russia, E is your W. All right. I mean, I just wanted to ask, make sure I slash my T's, dot my I's. I got promoted at work. That was cool.
We saw. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's an unexpected promotion from my point of view.
I told you about it 2 weeks ago, but it's fine.
No, you didn't tell me in specifics.
I did. I said I interviewed for this thing, and you were like, "Oh, okay, good luck."
I might have not been paying attention.
I mean, I know that now.
It wasn't real then. Now it's real.
Yeah, now it's real. It's true. I start in March, which is fun.
Did you get a pretty hefty pay bump?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's fucking good.
That's what I'm here for. We out here. I'm going full time too, which is.
Did that pay bump? Does the extra hours you work counteract the pay bump?
No, It's like it's
He'll
all
get
good.
paid more. Yeah.
It's all because I'm part time now, so I'll be going.
Yeah,
full-time
that's all good stuff.
and making more, and getting paid vacation and all that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you're gonna get benefits like I have right now, which they're fucking nice.
Yeah. Tony and I are gonna go sip martinis on our private island real quick.
It's catered to by Evan Wall.
Exactly. Who will fly out onto the island?
He just lands mimosas in hand.
Yeah. It's probably a bad look.
I mean, he's not drinking them; they're just in hand.
No, I mean he's holding them on while he's flying.
It's like on like a fancy tray, so they know. Like, I mean, if you put your alcohol on a tray, it's not for you.
Yeah, it's true. That's how you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm a little nervous, but
I wouldn't be nervous.
yeah, I'm not.
I think the part to be nervous about is over now.
Yeah, that was like just me.
So you have they still doing that kind of like destination training?
No,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, which is a bummer, but I'll get through it faster, which is
Sure.
nice. But
just throw stuff. Sorry.
did you just just throw your mic?
I moved my
fuck.
I moved my keyboard back, and my phone was resting between the keyboard and the edge of the desk, and it was like about to fall off. So I like karate chopped it to keep it on the desk. It slammed into my keyboard, then flipped over and landed on the desk. So that was what you just heard.
Cool. You can't win them all, I guess. So yeah, that's a thing. March 3rd, I think that's when I start.
Cool.
2 weeks from tomorrow. That's really all. I got sick. Got the itis.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo. And now it's gonna get lit. We're all gonna get lit. That's how it's gonna go down. You guys watch anything good? Tony, you been watching anything good?
I've stayed up to date on all of the animes that I talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Been watching all them. But other than that, I don't think there's been anything major. I started playing a lot of Monster Hunter with a group, so my time to just like play Monster Hunter solo and not talk to people and be able to watch something in the meantime has kind of all gone away.
Mm-hmm.
So
you streamed some Monster Hunter this week.
Yeah, a little bit. I want to do some more of that, but we'll have to see. I don't know. I just kind of threw it up. I'd be willing to do that again, but I think if I were to actually stream for a while, I would want to do a little bit better of a setup than just kind of throwing it up. You know, like, hey, there's no commentary on this. I'm just doing something.
Jam out to some music or something.
Yeah.
Scott, you been watching anything good?
I'll talk about it when Option gets back on.
Okay. That's fair.
More relevant to our tastes.
Yes. Fair enough. I'm trying to think. Did the Altered Carbon? Oh, I saw Black Panther. I was like,
Okay.
I'm trying to think, like, what is the thing that I watched? I went and saw Black Panther last night. Very good. Very, very good. That's an important movie. People should go watch it. It's also very fun, very funny. You know, it's the whole Marvel deal. I would say it is like also very different. It's a more different thing, kind of like how Doctor Strange was very different and things like that. So yeah, I highly recommend it. The cast is really, really good. Michael B. Jordan, be still my beating heart. He plays the villain, and he's just so good. I feel like I saw something or watched something else, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, I always feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, I consume so much media throughout the week that like something had to have slipped through the cracks whenever I talk about it.
Yeah. I've been listening to All Systems Goku.
Okay.
A Giant Bomb Dragon Ball Z Kai rewatch podcast.
Uh-huh.
Or watch podcast.
I watched the Giant Bomb feature 13 Deadly Sims. The first 3 episodes. It's all right.
Okay.
It's not as good as like Project Beast.
Okay.
But it is pretty good. There are some moments. I feel like it is a pretty hefty watch though to get to those moments.
Okay.
Fair. At least episode 0 is really good because that's when they're like making the Sims of the staff members at Giant Bomb, and they're very good.
Yeah.
Like the Ben Pack Sim is so good.
That's the stuff I want to watch. So yeah.
Like you're gonna see Ben Sim and be like, oh, yep, that's perfect. Nothing needs to be done.
Hey, that's Ben. That's good. I feel like just what's the longest slider that we can do? How tall can we make it?
Oh, so actually, Sims does not have height sliders.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and like it's interesting because like when you go to model like 13 real life people, you really like find out like the limitations of that stuff that you normally wouldn't see, because like if you're just making some random dudes, you like pick from the options and you're like, all right, cool, that kind of looks like what I want, and move on. But like when you're trying to make 13 people that look exactly like those 13 people and not all like the same kind of like those 13 people, you really notice like these customization options are just not there.
I'm curious, Tim, just for your take. How do you feel about Jeff Bakalar?
I think he's great.
I love Jeff Bakalar.
Yeah, and it was really weird like watching that because episode 0 is the first time that I'd seen him on camera.
Yeah.
And so matching his voice to what he actually looks like,
he looks so different than
very different than my headcanon.
Yeah,
I like had a moment where I was like, he looks nothing like I thought he looked.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It's great.
He's a beautiful man.
He's a beautiful man. Yeah, those are
Not as beautiful as Vinny, but close.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to aspire to the best, right?
Yeah.
I've listening to All Systems Goku has made me want to watch Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching Kai kind of on and off as time has gone on. I think I talked about it more back, a while ago than I have recently, but it's always been good. It's never been a bad time.
Yeah, at some point I'll watch the Buu Saga Kai.
I feel like the Buu Saga is so weak, though, to be honest.
The Buu Saga is weak. It's like the Cell Saga is probably the strongest of that show.
Yeah, Frieza Saga and Cell Saga are the ones that I think are really
and
good.
Cell are great. Buu is just like, the thing is, like when you watch the Dragon Ball Z Buu Saga, it's like it's way too long. It feels really bloated. So that's why the Kai version might be.
Yeah, I feel like they've done a pretty good job of like taking stuff out, but not making it obvious that things are missing. Like obviously, if you just watched Z, or you're like a super fan of Dragon Ball Z, and you're looking for the things that are missing, you'll notice. But like just as even as a fresh watch, or even like a refresher after a while, it does a good service.
Yeah.
Like it's well done. So
yeah, agreed. Let's you guys want to do a podcast? Talk about some video games?
Yeah.
Let's do it. You guys got your Audacities ready?
Maybe. Yes. Yes.
I forgot this week. Hold on.
Take your time.
So Scott, a little bonus for you.
Bonus.
The tent
for me.
The pay to win tent. So nice. It's so good.
Okay, so in thousands of dollars, how many thousands of dollars has your guild spent on tents?
Well, there are 100 people, so the maximum that we could spend would be what, 5,000. I feel like it's maybe 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mine's got around 1,000. Mine's got about 1,000.
So, for context, Alex, and this doesn't have to be on the show.
Sure.
But I mean, actually, no, we can talk about it on the show, because I can talk about some interesting moving and shaking going on in Black Desert Online with that. So.
Okay. Let's do it. I was talking to the chat and I spelled Tyler's name Rye instead of Ty. I'm sorry, Tyler. Array. Scott, you ready?
I am ready.
Cool. On 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ba-da-bum. Time-wise. We're doing good.
Feeling fresh?
Feeling fresh, feeling lit, feeling like 2 a.m. summer night?
Something like that.
I love how you're made OJs. I'm just a mess, Tyler. Thanks everybody for watching. We got like 7 people watching right now. Shout out to all the
dudes.
And
Dudettes.
Dudes and dudettes. That's correct. I can get rid of some of this news probably. Scott, before we begin, have you watched the Kingdom Hearts stuff that came out of D23?
Nope.
Okay. I recommend it when you get the chance.
Or do you recommend I just buy it when it comes out?
Ooh, going in blind. I mean, yeah, that's the best. That's the purest way. Well, we're going to talk about it a little bit. It's nothing that we haven't talked about before. But they showed the song if you don't want to hear the Kingdom Hearts 3 song. And then
Is it
I want
different?
to hear the song.
Yeah, it's a new song. It's a totally new song.
Good. Good.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, it's probably not going to be like the to-be Stepchild remix version that will be the theme song of the game. It's just kind of like the pure version of it. But yeah, it is a new song. It sounds good. It's very cool. Stay pure, Scott. All right. It is Friday, February 16th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guthier.
Hello.
And Tony Horvath.
Piconut!
I should have taken a drink of water. Big Connect! Hey. That guy was so stoked to rob all those people.
So good.
We are down one Brian Nabishin Jackson. It's his birthday today, though. Happy birthday, Nabishin.
Happy birthday.
Wherever you are. He's out there sipping a glass of wine and a nice like, what was it, a smoking jacket by a fireside, about to light a cigar, looking down at Bayonetta on his Switch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the way to be.
Yeah. He's probably doing something, though. But yeah, if you haven't already, even if it's a few days late, go and wish Nabishin a happy birthday at Nabishin186 on Twitter. He's a good boy. And we love him very much. But the show goes on. We got some cool stuff to talk about on the podcast tonight. Just to get out of the way, housekeeping. RationalPassions.com, stuff goes up there. There's a fun little Valentine's Day piece that went up on Wednesday by George Cruz and Scott White, and talking about some games to play with your special someone, or by yourself if you're feeling whatever, if you don't have a special someone. And there's some fun suggestions in there. There's a good little mix of like actual co-op games and things like Until Dawn, which is just like fun to play with other people. And scream at a TV screen, things like that. A new episode of Input is up as well, talking about Dr. Disrespect, that whole situation, more Billy Mitchell stuff, more things that we will not talk about on the show. No Billy Mitchell on Irrational Passions podcast. I refuse.
Ever.
I've got your number, Billy Mitchell. I don't really have anything against Billy Mitchell. I just want to throw it out there. He might have lied about some arcade scores. I don't know. He wants to defend himself. We'll figure it out. And there's a review, a couple of posts going up this coming week, so they'll probably be up on the site irrationalpassions.com by the time you hear the audio version of this show. So go check that out, irrationalpassions.com. Go listen to Input. It's a great video games news show hosted by the writing editorial team on IP. Let's you guys want to talk about video games? Video games. I want to know what's up, Tony. You've hyped up some stuff into this show.
Okay, so I'll start with Black Desert Online because there's some stuff to cover here.
Sure.
Normally there's not, right? Normally it's this shit. There
Normally Tony's just throwing shade.
There's actually some stuff.
Okay.
So, first thing to talk about, Black Desert Online is probably going to be in the news in something like, or on our like outlets like GameStop or GameSpot, stuff like that, in the coming couple days, because there's kind of this whole thing going on in the community right now about like pay to win and this whole change that they implemented with the patch this week. They added a couple sets, or a set of 2 items to the cash shop that you can just straight up buy for real life money that they promised they were never going to add to the North American version on release. They just kind of ninja'd it in. Cacao Games, the publisher of Black Desert Online for NA, likes to do this thing where they will wait for too long to release something, or they will allow the economy of a game to dictate that something is very necessary, and then solve that issue with a stopgap, let it get even more even worse, and then put in a method or one of the things that people wanted to fix that issue. But while they do that to hide them adding something that they don't necessarily want people to talk about a lot. So it's happened multiple times in the past. This time around, they let the way that enhancing the game works to make gear better, you need very specific materials. They let the source of those materials be so absent from the game for so long that they basically made a huge drought of enhancement materials that every person in the game needs many of. So they've addressed it in small ways, like multiple times. There are like 4 different main things that everyone needs, and they've kind of like been like, hey, here's some of this piece or some of this piece, and then what everyone always wanted, the actual item that you need sharp and hard black stones to make the stones that you get 1 per attempt at an enhancement. So they finally did this thing which they used to have all the time, like basically every other week, an event where you get a much greater drop rate on those from gathering, which is the only way to get them. Right now, normally it's very, very rare to get one. So they just started a 2-week event where it is much more common. They used to have these all the time. It made it like possible to get them, where previously for the past couple weeks or the past couple months even, it's been very difficult. So all of this is, it's good. The event's in, the event works, that's fine. That's addressing that. But under that whole thing, they've added in these 2 items. It's called a sealed book of combat and a blessing of Kama Sylvia, both for 14 days that you can purchase from the marketplace for $13 each. So what they do, the sealed book of combat gives you a 24-hour buff when you use it on a 1-hour cooldown, lasts for 14 days, and increases the amount of experience you get by 50% across the board. So you just get 50% more experience. They've given them away in events previously, or you could buy 1 day's worth for the amount of loyalty points that you get in 30 days.
Okay.
So, but now you can just buy as many as you want, and they last 14 days, and they cost $13. So basically, you can just pay to infinitely have 50% more experience. So that's a big thing, and that one, and then one other item that does a similar kind of effect. They promised on the game's release that they would never be put into the cash shop, but they just kind of slipped them in. It's one little like the very bottom of their Pearl Shop update is like, hey, you can buy these now. So people have kind of really rebelled against that in the community, and people are kind of making a stink over it. So I would be very surprised if you did not see that in more major video gaming outlets talking about that in the next couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's I don't know, it's not unexpected. It's kind of always been that way, but people will be mad about it for a while, then no one will stop playing. So
they'll be mad about it for a while, and then they'll buy it.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it is it'll be the new it'll be the new way to break soft cap.
Yeah, I don't know, because like they added a thing like a year ago called a value pack that didn't used to be in the game, but it's $14 for 30 days, and it gives you a huge variety of buffs that and most people consider the game unplayable without it at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of just feels like they're adding 2 more value packs that you could buy per month, in 14-day increments. So it's you feel thinking about it that way. It's kind of like now your subscription cost for the game, which is optional but very recommended, went from $15 to $45.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's interesting. They've done that, and then another big one that they added. It's not nearly as bad, but they added this. So to a couple weeks prior, they added this new system in the game called tents. It's basically like a mobile town that you can take with you and pop up if you're not on a road or in a town. You can repair items there. You can buy stuff. You convert silver into gold bars, which weigh less for the same value, so it's easier to carry stuff around that way. And you can store some items in a chest there, and it's mobile. You can remote collect it. It's great. It's very convenient. Ideally, without this item that they introduced, you'd have to buy the components for those every week for in-game money, for a pretty substantial amount of in-game money if you're buying it every week. Or you could buy this new item that they put in the game. It's a skin that makes the camp look really cool. It's $49, and it's a skin, makes the camp look cool, and you get permanent attachments for your camp. So your repair thing, your shop, your chest that you can store stuff in, all permanent. And it also makes it so this other system in the game where you can get like a huge amount of variety of buffs called villa buffs. You don't have to go out into the desert to this very specific villa to get this set of buffs anymore, which is like a 30-minute endeavor to go there and back before every war. You just pop the tent down and get any buff you want with any villa pass, which you used to have a specific pass for a specific villa, go all the way to that villa and get that buff. So it's like a huge amount of convenience that you can just buy for $49. So it's there's a lot of that stuff kind of, yeah, it does, right? Because you no longer have to buy the camp points every week.
You no longer have it's not just that, it's you just said you had to get a specific villa buff.
Yep.
Or if you can use one patch for all, that is a very significant. That is more money saved than.
Yeah. So previously, like you could get a set of buffs that are good for PvP, and a set of buffs that are good for grinding, and a set of buffs that are good for life skilling. Now, each of those you'd have to buy a different 10 million silver villa pass that lasts a week. Now, and then the buffs cost like somewhere between 1.5 and 4.5 million. Now you can get all of those buffs under just one villa pass for the same price. So you save 20 to 30 million plus the cost of all the parts of the tent per week. So it's interesting.
This kind of like totally breaks the game.
It doesn't break the game, but it's a huge amount of convenience in one item.
Yeah.
So obviously like 90% of the game that still play the game was like, well, I guess we have to buy this thing. Yeah. So it's, I mean, hey, I got one. It's pretty nice.
How long does it last? You said it was like 14 days or whatever?
What? The camp?
The camp thing.
Is permanent.
It's oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's permanent.
So I can literally just walk outside of a town, click a button, and I got my tent there. And I can get all of those benefits.
How much?
It's got like, what, a 30-minute, hour-long cooldown, something like that?
No cooldown at all.
Oh, boy. How much does it cost?
$49.
$49.
$50 for a goddamn tent?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that they added, like the biggest outcry for after value packs for pay to win recently, was they added this item called an artisan's memory. What an artisan's memory does, and this kind of all ties into enhancing, because enhancing is the big progression thing of the game. You can wear all of your gear at level 1 as that you could wear at level 60, and it doesn't matter. So what your gear is the real indicator of how progressed in the game you are. So a lot of this pay to win stuff is tied to that. But there's this, basically, when you fail an enhancement, you lose maximum durability on whatever item you failed on. In the most cases for the armor that matters, the only way to repair it is with a very specific item that only repairs one of that durability. If you buy this thing from the cash shop, it used to be on when they first brought it in that it would multiply however much you would repair it by 3. So for every 1, you get 3 durability back. The patch before they added tents, they buffed that to 4. So now it's a 4 times multiplier on how efficient you are if you buy these things from the cash shop, and a rate of 50 cents per repair. So 50 cents is equal to 4 durability instead of 1 durability without it. So those are the big pay. That's the actual pay to win in this game. Like if you want to distill it down to where is the best place to spend money if you want to get ahead quickly, that's it. Like you just buy those. You can buy hundreds of them and like progress way faster, 4 times faster than anyone else. So it's interesting watching that like kind of evolve. And you know, if the weird thing is like if they added all of it at the same time, no one would play their game anymore. They'd be like, okay, well they decided to go pay to win. You know, like it's happened to many games in the past. So, but yeah, the way that they've done it from a business sense, I guess, is pretty ingenious. You know, there's a reason why, like in Korea, they get a new class, and then like 2 weeks later, they get the awakening for that class. But it doesn't happen here. The way that we get it is we get a class, and then they release a couple costumes for the class that don't include an awakening weapon. And then we'll get the awakening, and then they'll make another couple costumes that do have the awakening weapons, so that people buy costumes. Then they get the awakening. They're like, oh, I need to buy a costume that has an awakening weapon. Let me buy this. So it's a lot of that. I think that that's very common in free-to-play, or, you know, like very low barrier to entry as far as money is concerned games. But MMOs are kind of like the biggest offenders.
Yeah, doesn't that make you like not want to engage with it though?
No.
Why?
I like the game. Like I just like I like the game enough to, because I don't go crazy, right? Like I'm not like spending like $100 a week or whatever. I spent $50 so far this year, right? So like
On
that's
your fucking lit tent.
yeah, and like that's fine because like I play this game enough. Like I would, if I were not playing this game, spend more money on games because I'm playing multiple different games that I need to buy every time, you know. So for me, like I'm okay with that amount of investment into the game, but like the extent that you could take it to is kind of gross because there's a lot more there that I didn't talk about.
Well, damn. Are you gonna get this tent, Scott?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
I don't.
You
Need
don't
it.
really need it.
It's
I just think
very
it's
convenient though.
it is super convenient.
It is the most convenient, but I don't care.
In other news, I've made like huge gains recently. I talked about it briefly, but yeah, like that's been cool. After not really like working on actually improving my stuff and instead kind of working more on like my social standing in the game for like 3 months, I've now like I had amassed like a huge amount of resources. And then I was, over the last like week, I basically put all of those resources to work and made huge gains. So that's really cool too.
Hashtag huge gains.
Yeah, so my character is like way stronger now than it was before, but I also have no more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. To pivot off of Black Desert Online,
Mm-hmm.
what else is up?
Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about, I do want to talk about Monster Hunter, but we can wait.
Okay.
So I have to quit Osu.
No.
Yeah, so that's been like super bumming me out. I can't play it anymore.
Why? What'd they do?
I am actively hurting my hands,
Oh no.
so I have to stop.
Did you get like a diagnosis?
No, it's like more of a self-diagnosis. Like I can play like one song and my hands start really hurting.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But I played for 3 years. So
You're like that pitcher that like threw out his shoulder because he pitched too good and then he had to stop playing baseball.
yeah.
Or else he would like lose his arm for good, or like it would be like he would not function as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get out of the game while you're ahead, and then like in 3 years you'll have like an apprentice that you'll teach Osu, but you won't play. You'll just hit his knuckles with it, and then like there will like be this big tournament, and somebody like you hate will be there, and you'll have to like compete. You'll have to get back in the game.
Show out.
You'll just be sweating while your hands hurt.
That's been kind of bumming me out for the week.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Nah, it's all good.
I don't want you to hurt yourself though.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know, earlier this week I was playing. I was like, yeah, I can't. It's getting worse. Like I can tell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not like a wrist thing either. It's more of like, the entire like top of the backside of the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
Just starts burning.
Those
after,
like
like,
knuckles.
No, below the knuckles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that whole like midsection of your hand, where all of like those like 90 bones in your hand are or whatever,
Yeah.
all of the muscles in there just start burning like immediately. So I'm just like, yeah, not gonna happen.
Okay. Well, you made the right call, I think, but I know this hurts you so much.
Yeah, it's a super big shame.
Maybe you can get like a specially designed ergonomic controller.
No, I pass. I think
I'm trying to find solutions for you.
it's all good. But yeah, so that's been kind of a bummer. Not being able to do that anymore.
But now you can pick up a new rhythm game that is less painful to you.
Yeah, maybe I'll just get like super into custom Guitar Hero 2.
That weird.
You'll
PC
bring
mod.
back DDR. Do it.
Yeah, let's do it until your feet start hurting. I believe.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's been a bummer. But I was like, well, no, I can't. So
Okay. Well, let's talk about Monster Hunter then. Let's talk about something fun.
sure.
What's up with Monster Hunter?
So I think last week when we talked about it, I was done with all of it, right?
I believe you were close. You weren't quite finished.
So I finished Monster Hunter.
Okay.
I'm all the way through all of the quests. The only thing left, I've basically there's one quest left, I think, that happens when you get to Hunter rank 99. I'm not there yet. I'm at like Hunter rank like 60. But there are big, like after you finish the high rank thing, there are big kind of like barriers at 15, 29, and 49 Each one has like a quest to go do a thing that unlocks kind of like the next area, and then your hunter level gets capped.
Yeah,
or
you're working
uncapped.
to the one that's 49.
Right, yeah. So over the past week, I hit 49 and then did that quest. Actually did it live on the stream. And yeah, ever since then, I've just kind of been grinding, picked up a couple new like weapon sets and stuff, switched off the bow. I don't use it anymore. And it's still been having a good time. Like I started playing with a group of people, and pretty much all of my gameplay throughout the entire week has been with the same group of people, hunting like the most powerful monsters, like sets of 2 or 3 of them or whatever for the highest rewards. And we've been having a good time. Monster Hunter is fucking good. Like
I got some Monster Hunter questions.
yeah.
I'm deep into my Monster Hunter journey. I just hunted the weird like scaly ice dragon thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, in like the coral reefs, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Legiana.
Legiana, yes, thank you. That thing, the spiky armadillo monster, that was cool. With all the big spikes on it. It's the one you fight before Legiana. I also did that. So here's a question. I was doing an expedition, so I wanted to find a Rathalos because I can't hunt a Rathalos yet. But I've seen a Rathalos. I want to fight it. It wasn't there, but I fought an Anjanath on the expedition, and then it just fucking dug away. It like dug into the ground and left.
Yeah.
What the fuck's up with that?
So if you just go on an expedition,
you can't kill any monsters?
No, you certainly can, but some of the more powerful monsters will just they're set to like run around the area for a while and then they leave. So if you want to hunt those specific monsters and you don't think you're fast enough, it's better for you to do an investigation. Yeah. 99% of the time an investigation is the best way to hunt a monster because of those reward slots. But if the circumstances don't allow, there's always the opportunity to just kind of go out there and look for shit. And honestly, there's a build that takes like high advantage of that because there's a gem or a perk you can get that makes it so your stats dramatically increase for every time you die for the first 2 times.
Okay.
So you can do that. Some people will go out on an expedition wearing that gem, die twice just because you can die infinite times, and then go back and just go around and kill stuff because they're 30% higher everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. But like a lot of the time, going on an expedition is while you can kill monsters, you shouldn't be looking for those as a means of killing all of the monsters. Like you want those. That's more for like I need to go gather some mandragora, or like I need coral crystal for this thing. I know that I need to go to the Coral Highlands and hit the shit out of some blue ore nodes, and then you go do that for a while, or as long as you need to. And you can run around, you can do that. If there are other things, like I said, you can kill them, but I wouldn't go out there looking to kill them, and it's kind of set up that way. So the monsters will be there in the beginning, but they leave so that if you're just not really there to fight them, you're not going to have fucking Legiana showing up over and over and over again and kind of in your face. There's a different monster that is specifically designed for that purpose, and you will meet him if you haven't already, and you're going to hate him, but it's okay.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so I wouldn't worry about it. Just like it's not explained, but that's kind of not what expeditions are for. I would just kind of lean on your investigations for that.
That's what I figured. I wanted somebody to tell me for sure.
Yeah, and I think that for as kind of not great as the whole sorting of the investigations is handled, it's like you can live with it. So I don't know. Like I've run into that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves of the game is like once I filled up that list of 250 investigations, there's no way to sort them. You just have to go through and manually delete them, or you won't get any more.
Oh yeah, you got to delete them.
And the entire end game is based off of getting rare investigations to go do. So you really got to be on top of that. But it doesn't matter until then,
So where am I at if I just fought Legiana?
So you just fought low rank Legiana?
Yeah, I'm in the story.
The first time you ever fought her?
Yeah.
So you're maybe 10% through.
But like of the story.
Of low rank, you're probably the story does not end when low rank ends.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're maybe 70% through low rank.
Okay. Let me
Uh,
tell you about Nergigante.
yeah, Nergigante, what's up?
Somebody said that to me, and I was like, "That's not a fucking name for
It's a real thing. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
He's the strongest Elder Dragon.
Okay, but he's so little.
So he Nergigante, his thing, he eats Elder Dragons. Like that's what he does.
And he grows back spikes on his body, apparently.
Yeah. But like his MO, like why he's there is to hunt and then eat Elder Dragons.
I feel like that would take a long time to eat something like Zora Magdaros, though.
Not necessarily Zora Magdaros. You'll meet other Elder Dragons that he's more interested in, but he's also interested in biting up Zora Magdaros for sure.
Yeah, I got up on the Hydra's back as Zora Magdaros.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. That was all right.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of any pressing Monster Hunter questions. I just got a thing where I can send cats out on an exploration.
Yeah, do that as often as possible.
Okay.
And if possible, look for versions that are 4 and 5 stars because there's an armor set that you can only get by getting a very specific material that only comes from those Tall Rider Safaris. So it's called Sinister Cloth. You need 2 per piece of the equipment. I think I've got like 6. So also the Street Fighter V collab thing came out today. If you have a Street Fighter V save on your console, so keep that in mind. I did it. It's cute. It's an arena quest. The way that those work, it basically like you choose a predetermined set of gear of like 6 different weapons, and then you go in there with up to 1 other person, and you fight the shit out of a monster until it dies. And you're timed, and your faster time is the better.
Are you with Monster Hunter now?
Yeah.
In your post Monster Hunter world, are you like down for weekly hunts?
Oh, I still play it daily. Yeah, like I'm not at the point where I'm not playing the game.
Okay.
I'm still like logging in, doing hunts and like grinding because like there's a lot of grind still to be had. That's kind of like a different kind of grind where in previous Monster Hunter titles you would grind for the gear, where in this game you do a little bit, but you're more grinding for gear like for a couple hours at most, then you kind of get what you want. And then in order to make the gear even better, you can choose to then grind for decorations, which are kind of like gems that you slot into your gear. There are some pretty rare ones that do some really powerful things. Like you can get the entire bonus, because high rank armor have set bonuses, some of them. Or you can get a decoration that gives that like a piece of armor set bonus just in that decoration, but it's really rare. So you could, like, for example, the Otogaron set in high rank, when you put on 4 pieces of it, makes it so it's got a perk called Protective Polish. So whenever you go to sharpen your weapon, it makes it so the first minute after sharpening your weapon, you don't lose any sharpness. Okay. Which is really good if you've got a weapon that has just a little bit of white sharpness, which is the highest sharpness with the highest damage multiplier. Because a lot of the time, if you've got a weapon that only's got a little bit, it'll fall off after 10 seconds hitting a monster, and then you kind of you used your window of damage. Now you gotta you use the blue sharpness, and then when you get a chance to sharpen again, you get that bonus back. With that perk, you can then get an entire minute plus that of white sharpness without having to spec further into sharpness. So there's a lot of stuff like that in the high rank armor that you can choose to maximize your damage and the abilities of your armor with, that you don't necessarily need to engage with. But you could then choose to grind that stuff out. And if you get it, great. You can slot that in and keep going. So that's kind of the stage that I'm in now. I've got enough resources to kind of self-sustain. I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to have the stuff I need for every mission going forward. Now I'm just kind of grinding. And it's fun. Like, I'm doing it because I enjoy the act of going out and fighting these strong monsters.
I'm trying to think of any other pressing Monster Hunter related questions.
I switched from bow to lance, by the way.
The insect glaive?
Lance.
Or the lance and shield, or just the gun lance?
The lance specifically.
There's a lot of lance options.
There's 2 lance options. The insect glaive's not a lance at all.
Well, I wasn't necessarily meaning the insect glaive. I meant there's the lance with the shield. There's the lance with a gun in it.
Yeah.
It's a gun lance.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the gun lance.
I see a lot of people doing that switch axe. So
A switch axe is, as far as I am aware, the strongest weapon in Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
At the current moment, so that's why and it's a fun weapon, to be honest. Like once you learned, it's one of the more complicated ones, but once you've learned how it works, it's one of the more satisfying ones to use. You can really feel like powerful, kind of doing all of these cool combinations, throwing up a damage number in one hit that's like over 1,000 or whatever. It's cool. It's flashy and it's fun, so I think that it's got a lot of appeal. But every weapon is good. There's no one weapon that is like strictly worse than any of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know. I still see a lot of bow. I see a lot of charge blade. I see a lot of dual blades and sword.
How much horn do you see? How much horn do you see?
Very little hunting horn.
Tony told me he's got
Bunch
a
of
horn
fucking
ready.
scrubs. I don't want to play.
I stopped working on hunting horn, to be honest. It doesn't appeal to me. So
They sound like a bunch of fucking scrubs, Scott. I agree.
We'll run it and fight a monster. Both of us are going to use hunting horn.
Hell yeah. Buff each other.
Hey man, if you like, more power to you if you want to use hunting horn. It's a cool weapon. It's just not for me. Like same with greatsword. I tried greatsword today, and I was like immediately like never using this again.
It's
just completely bounced off that playstyle.
It's like the flagship.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Ryu running around with a giant greatsword. Like the aesthetic was cool.
Did you Hadouken a monster?
I actually don't know how to do it.
Okay, there's got to be a way.
Yeah.
Dragon punch dragon.
Though, like, I've been doing the quest a lot because right now, if you've got, like I said, if you've got a Street Fighter V save, you can do that whole mission to get the Ryu, but it's for 2 people, so you can host it for another person who doesn't have it, and then through you, they will be able to get the Ryu set early. So I've been hosting it for my whole group of people because I'm like the only one who had a Street Fighter V save, which I actually had to download from the cloud because it was on my PS4 original, not the Pro.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah, like Monster Hunter is great. That's been the majority of my game time this week.
Cool. Anything else on
That's
the list? Scott, what about you? Video games.
We got a little bit more Zelda, a couple more shrines. I think I want to say 5 away from that Master Sword.
Okay.
And then I can start doing some shit.
You got this big plan for the Master Sword. Are you going to do the Master Sword trials as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the big thing about doing the whole game in expert mode only is that disposable weapons, having a lot of them, doesn't work. You do not get enough weapon to deal with what you have to deal with. They have their HP is too high, their regen is too... It's way too fast for you to think of a clever solution, as I thought you were going to have to do before.
Mm-hmm.
And those solutions do not do nearly enough damage.
Okay.
They worked against blue and below, but you only fight blue and higher.
Okay.
And it's almost non-existent in a couple stages of the game.
Got it. Yeah. All right. I'm excited to see how the strategy evolves then. I also just want to see how those Master Sword trials are. I'm curious to play them. I've heard good things. So, anything else? Outside of Zelda.
Aside from that, no.
Okay. As for me, video games, I was telling Scott a little bit before we started the show. I finished Celeste. I feel like I finished it last week, but I've been doing more of the post game stuff. So basically, there is like a level that unlocks after you beat Celeste. That is like story wise after the game. I think that's the only like post story level there is. That's very cool because it actually has like multiple different mechanics in it versus, for the most part, Celeste just kind of has, each level has its own central mechanic that it evolves and changes. Some of them have 2 mechanics that go with it, but usually it's just the one. That core level, the final level, has 2 that are really intricate and really cool. Basically, you need to get 4 crystal hearts in order to get into the core level. Each chapter has a heart hidden in it, and then the B side, the basically challenge mode version of that level, which takes the mechanic and makes it much more difficult, beating that will just get you a crystal heart as well. And so you need to get 4 just in general to get to the core, which I went through. I did some of the B-sides, which are they're just brutal. They're just torturous to some extent. They're fun. They're to some extent like really well designed challenges. They're just like very difficult. And I went through the core, did that level. When you beat the core, basically the end of that is just you get the B-side for the core. And then I found out by doing a little Twitter look-scene, there is a C. After you do all the B-sides, you unlock the C-sides, which are like super hard versions of each of the levels. And that's just... I just got like a little sick to my stomach just thinking about it. And that is in total everything that is in that game. And like doing those B-sides, like some of them took me like an hour and a half just to do one full level of that. But there's like some speedrunning modes and stuff built into Celeste, so I'm real curious to see if like this makes an Awesome Games Done Quick appearance or something like that. Summer Games Done Quick, I guess, would be the next one. Just to see how people kind of tackle this game. It's just a lot of being very good at that kind of game, at that kind of platformer. But yeah, the B-sides have been really rewarding. That bonus level was very fun. Wasn't like I appreciate after doing the B-sides, I appreciate kind of like the tepidness and difficulty of the main levels. Like they're not too hard, but they have like a good curve of difficulty as you go through the level. It's very well balanced out. Where the B-sides are just from start to back, very very cool. Monster Hunter World. I play about that. I play a lot of it. I'm not, I'll say this, I'm not in love with Monster Hunter World. I definitely really appreciate it now. I have a fonder understanding of it, and I like it. I don't want to say oh, it's not as good as everyone says it is. It's just not what I mean. It's just there are things that it just doesn't connect with me on, but it scratches more itches than I thought it would. So I'm glad that I went out on the limb to get it. I like it more than I thought I would. And I'm having more fun with it than I thought I would. As far as one of these games, this definitely seems like the best one as far as getting into it as well for me. Scott and I were talking about Final Fantasy Explorers before we started recording.
The game's alright.
That game is alright. And I have an appreciation for how it was different now to some extent, as that kind of take on a Monster Hunter style game. But yeah, Monster Hunter World really does an excellent job. The best thing that game does is just getting people like me who have never really thought they would like something like that into that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
and that's a feat. That's really impressive. Shadow of the Colossus, I played a little bit more of that. I'm just trying not to blast through that whole game. I'm just trying to savor it and enjoy it. It's still very good. I played some of the fourth Jackbox Party Pack, which I had not ever played before. Have you played any of it, Tony?
What games does the fourth one have?
It's got Survive the Internet is one of them.
No, I haven't played that one.
Fibbage 3 is pretty good. There's this one game in it. It's horror date night or something, where it's kind of like a tabletop game. Is the best part about it, where basically it's 6 nights of this dating game. There were 6 of us playing, so I had some friends over for Valentine's Day. And there are 2 rounds of it. Basically, there's the dating round and the chatting round. So basically, on your phone, you get to send private messages to the other players. You can only send 4 messages a night, though. Your goal is everyone is a different monster. So let's say I was the mummy when I was playing. So I could curse somebody if I dated them.
Mm-hmm.
So if we picked each other at the end of the night and dated. So then that person's cursed. My goal was to curse as many people as I can to get extra points at the end without cursing everyone. But you had to keep in mind that if I dated someone, they were cursed. If they dated someone, that curse passes onto them. So you kind of have to be careful with I don't want to spread the curse too much, but I do want to spread it as much as I can. So with that in mind, like, so you're sending these messages to kind of like solicit a partner. And the best part is like, depending on how things go, you like after you do the messages, and then you chooses like, all right, I choose this person to date for this night. If they choose you back, you match up, you date. It's great. You both get points, but it plays some of those messages up on the TV screen.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun.
It's super fun. It's like this weird like private chat message thing that like the best part is like basically whoever's the winner after round 2 and beyond, so whoever's at the top of the ranks, their monster power is revealed. So there's both an incentive to kind of like not do super well, but try and stay kind of in the lead.
Sure.
It's really
you don't want to be like head of the pack.
Yeah, you don't want to be number 1, but you want to be doing well. And a lot of the powers work like you get a bunch of points at the end for how well you did throughout the game. So it's a really clever game. It's probably like one of my favorite Jackbox games after playing it. And I just love the idea of like sending these filthy messages to each other and then having them all played on the screen.
Yeah.
Because one of the people that played, they were the first person revealed, and it was the Monster Hunter. It's like basically they want to date one monster so that they can hunt them, and they get bonus points for doing that. The day after that they were revealed as the Monster Hunter, the messages they sent were, "It's all a lie. I love monsters."
Got it.
It was just like, that's a great way to just lean into the game and have a good time. So, yeah, it's really good. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it stands out. That's a standout from Jackbox Party Pack 4.
Cool.
Outside of that, yeah, I think that's about it as far as fun, unique things I played. So I played a little bit more Final Fantasy 15, a little bit more Witcher 3, just like as little comfort food games, but that was all I really played. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll knock out some news, take some questions, and make some bets. So we'll do that in just a little bit. Choo choo choo.
Chookity choo.
I have to go use the bathroom. Nature's calling. Hoo-wee! I'll be right back.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! Don't get too excited.
So it's a 2v1.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Pixel and Oasis versus us.
Sounds like they got a losing hand.
It's tough. We only have like 30 people tonight
Oh.
because it's Friday. We don't usually war on Friday. Obviously, because I'm usually don't go if we do because of this. But we have like 30 people. So it's 30 of us versus 200 people.
Yeah, we've been doing the T3 drops on Sunday.
Hmm.
We've been doing that thing. We've been getting a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean they're like what 11 of them. So
9, I think. And
yeah,
then
that's the way to
they
go.
don't want to drop on Monday. And I'm like, you shoot yourself in the foot because it's
Well, if you
every
have a T3 on Sunday, you can pretty much write off the rest of the week because there are 2 T3s for the rest of the week, and the siege guilds just trade them, and everyone knows where everyone is. So 99% of the time you're going to run into a siege guild.
didn't Monday have one off to the side somewhere that nobody ever went to?
No, there are no nodes like that, really.
I guess that's an Alex singing. That's fine.
It's me.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
BitConnect.
Beat Connect.
Y'all ready for this? News, that is?
Yeah.
Cool. Me
My
too.
Listen, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all, you need to tell these people sending me friend requests on PSN to like leave a message saying who you are, because 99% of the friend requests I get, I just ignore because I get too many of them.
Me too. Like, I don't fucking know any of these people.
Like Nicole did it right. She left a message when she sent me a friend request. She was like, "Yo, this is what's up," and I was like, "All right, accept it." But then there are like 300 other friend requests that I just ignore because I don't know.
I do want to say, like, to Nicole, who's trying to persuade Trevor Starkey to play Monster in the chat,
It's a losing battle.
it's a losing battle, man. I don't know if Trevor would like that game. Although, to be fair, he played like 700 hours of Destiny 2.
True.
So, like, it really, nothing's off the table. All right.
My Monster Hunter character looks less like a weird blue butterfly and more like a character out of Mad Max now.
Your Palico hopped in my game. Showed
What?
Up. Yeah.
Why? For what? For Tall Rider Safari?
No, he was just hanging out.
Well, that's weird. Where? In the research base?
No, they can appear randomly in expeditions.
Oh.
And your Palico is the only one that was like super fucking decked out. I was like, all right, it's Tony's Palico, I guess.
I want to change his armor to something else, but I have to farm like the last monster that you fight in the game to get it, and it's gonna take way too long. Like the last fight, and if you don't care about spoilers, you should watch it because the method that we used to beat this guy is so dumb, and it was so funny. Like I wish that we had like that we weren't just talking in Discord while I was live streaming from my PlayStation, and I could have the comms in there because man, we were losing it in comms talking over that fight. It was
There's a way to do it, but it's like super roundabout.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to deal with it. But yeah, there's like this really difficult fight. I went to break the level 49 barrier, and we did it in a very spectacular way. So it was really cool.
Trevor said he can't commit to that kind of thing again. It'd kill him.
I mean, you're not. I don't think that you'd play Monster Hunter for 800 hours.
Yeah, I think you get a good 20 out of it, and you'd be like, all right, I had fun.
It's more like a 45-hour game, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying he would finish it.
Yeah. But I don't know if if 20 hours is worth $60.
I don't know. Trevor sent me a fucking $25 Chipotle gift card because I got a promotion. So like, he's basically
never mind. He's
lighting money on fire.
Must come from old money.
I'll say
Phoenix, Arizona money.
Trevor's Chipotle gift cards at multiple points in 2018 have been the only thing keeping me alive. So
same. I lived on a Subway gift card, a $15 Subway gift card for 4 days.
Hell yeah. That's only $3 $5 footlongs.
Yeah. Plus tax.
Plus tax. All right. Let's do this. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news. Not a lot of news this week, but I want to bring a couple of things up. First, just CD Projekt Red update. I know now Tony's on that CD Projekt Red tip. They did announce that they will be attending E3 this year, which they didn't last year. I don't think they did the year before. They might have done it the year before to show off that Witcher DLC, but basically, CD Projekt Red has been very much like, hey, we're working on what we're working on, which is currently the Gwent game, and which is, I guess, still in beta. It's one of those things that might just never come out, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And also Cyberpunk 2077. That's the big thing, and they've been kind of staying quiet about that for a while. So they will be at E3, and the speculation around is that they will be talking about that game finally, which is very cool. I'm just very excited to see what that team does in a totally different setting with totally different characters.
Sure.
Very good writers, very good world builders on that team. So, are you interested in Cyberpunk 2077, Tony?
Passively, I guess, would be a good way to describe it.
Here's a more broad question, Tony. How do you feel about Cyberpunk in general?
It's okay in some situations. Okay. I don't know, I don't care that much about the entire aesthetic of Cyberpunk. It's not an aesthetic that I'm in love with. The side, it's hard to describe Cyberpunk as not Cyberpunk, but you get my meaning. I don't go dicks out for Cyberpunk, right? But
yeah.
But it's cool. I'll if the aesthetic is done well, I'll rock with it, right? But I'm not going to go out of my way to look for something because it is Cyberpunk.
And I can broaden this out to you as well, Scott. Do you guys fall in the preference camp of sci-fi versus fantasy as far as gaming is concerned? Do you have a personal preference?
I guess I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay. You like both equally?
Roughly. The big issue is the big lopside here is that fantasy is much easier to do well.
Okay. Yeah.
It is very easy to fuck up sci-fi. And yes. It's very easy to fuck it up to the point where it's not enjoyable.
Yeah. I was thinking, just look at Fallout 3 versus Fallout 4, right? They got it once, and I don't think they quite had the same thing the second time. So, yeah, I see that. What about you, Tony? Do you have a preference?
No, hard and fast preference for me.
Okay. I think I like both, but I think I definitely prefer fantasy. And it's probably a little bit of the same reason, Scott. Like, I feel like you can tell, it is easier to tell a really cool fantasy story that is unique and interesting. It is much harder to do that in science fiction. But if there was anyone I had faith to do it with, it would be CD Projekt Red. So, some other interesting news coming out of here. Y'all remember Spyro the Dragon?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about this bullshit PS2, GameCube era Elijah Wood.
Yeah. PS1 Spyro. What's up?
PS1 Spyro the Dragon.
What was the name of the dude that always tried to take your fucking gems?
The guy, the bear with the money purse?
Yeah, what was his name?
Oh, I can't remember his name.
He was great.
He was great. Money Bear from Spyro.
Moneybags? Is that his name?
I feel like Moneybags would be... His name is Moneybags.
Yeah.
Straight up Moneybags.
I played some Spyro.
Oh man, he shows up in like that weird non-canonical Elijah Wood PS2 era Spyro. He looks weird. He's got like a...
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, he's got like a weird like Aladdin like outfit. I'm looking at Moneybags' Spyro Wikipedia page. So Spyro the Dragon is apparently getting, and this is from pretty credible source, Laura Kate Dale, who now reports for Kotaku UK. She had done reporting on a lot of the Switch leaks, including like the Rabbids crossover with Mario and stuff. So pretty good reporting behind it that Spyro the Dragon, the first three, the original Insomniac games, PS1 era games, are getting the full Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy treatment this year, basically being fully remade and remastered for PlayStation 4. It's to be announced next month in March and then released this year in September or in like Q3 this year. But yeah, that's, I mean... Same developer, Vicarious Visions, that did the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. Same kind of situation behind it. Apparently, it's got like a one year exclusivity to PS4, and then it would go to Switch and Xbox One after a year. So that actually sounds really good because those first three Spyro games are fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're with me on this, Tony.
Yep.
Those are definitely like my favorite of like the PlayStation PS1 platformers because like Crash was whatever, even though like I have a better appreciation for those now. But so that's Spyro the Dragon, the first one. Ripto's
Yeah,
Rage,
it was.
and Year of the Dragon, the third one.
Yeah,
It
all
was,
three
in
of
my
those are good.
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You had Spyro, and then you had the one. What is it, Rayman?
Rayman, yeah, it's Croc as well. No one like Croc. And then Gex.
Yeah,
I remember
it was okay.
I think Croc 2 was okay, but I remember not liking the original Croc.
Probably because it had super weird tank controls.
Yeah.
Like
Super
they were weird for tank controls.
Yeah. So yeah, that like the era of platformers, yeah. Those three Spyro games, like all of them are good. Even the first one, like I think holds up pretty well. Having played them like maybe 5 years ago, as like PS1 classics. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see those kind of like just re-graphics in for PS4 in 4K. I don't know what would you call like the poor pun. High dragon range HDR.
Spyro in don't pun this game.
Spyro is less punny than Crash Bandicoot, I guess.
Spyro and don't pun K.
And don't pun K.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround since they just did Crash Bandicoot last year, but that apparently did very well. It sold pretty well, so I'm excited to see how this does. I can't imagine Spyro doing as well as Crash Bandicoot. I don't think like there is as rabid a fan base, but I think those games are better, so hopefully that offsets it at least a little bit. But yeah, would you play these again, Tony?
Yeah.
The Spyro games, I would too.
Yeah, I mean, given time, I would. Like, I feel like if like they come out, like realistically speaking, they would just be like a low game on my priority list that I would have picked up because Spyro. But you know, time permitting and like games not coming out super fast permitting, yes, I would absolutely play them.
I'll just probably play these because I make poor decisions.
Hmm.
And I also don't play Black Desert Online, so I've got all that time.
I don't spend that much time playing Black Desert,
I
though.
know. I'm just teasing. There was D23 was last weekend. It was like hours after we finished recording.
By the way, 5,100 hours.
In Black Desert Online?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I know most of that's like in the background, but still.
Almost all of it.
That's just a lot. The D23 Expo in Japan happened. So Disney Expo, typically it is a good source of Kingdom Hearts information. For example, like the Tangled World was announced, or the Big Hero 6 World was announced at this
Hell
Expo.
yeah.
And that was like way back when they announced a new world that had like leaked a while ago. We talked about it a while ago, the Monsters Inc. world. But it's real, it's official now. There are redesigns for Sora, Donald, and Goofy from that world specifically. Like they have outfits for that world that people have a lot of strong opinions about. Mostly people think that Goofy looks like he's real high. Which
I mean, he is.
To be fair, he is, and also he does look very high. But yeah, it was a big showing for Kingdom Hearts 3. They showed a new trailer that showed off the Monsters Inc. world, which looks awesome. I had like one. I won't spoil it because for Scott, but I had one thing in my head. I'm like, if they do Monsters Inc., I hope they do this part of that movie, and they totally are doing that part of that movie, and that's exciting. And they showed off some returning characters. That's right. Now I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of stuff in this trailer you probably don't want to know about, Scott.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of like very exciting revelations. And they also unveiled the theme song for Kingdom Hearts 3, the new song written by the woman.
See, now that's something I'm probably going to check out.
Yeah, I mean, the first half of it is the song. The second half of it is a trailer showing off Riku. Basically, Riku's got some new duds. I feel like that's a safe trailer to watch. Oh, actually, no. It's got a bunch.
After the new ones he already had?
Yeah, well, he's got new duds.
I'm assuming Sora's going to get some new ones as well.
Yeah, Sora's got new clothes. It's like a full new outfit. Kind of going off of his design from Dream.
Yep. Kingdom Hearts Season 3.
Yeah, Season 3. It's going on. New outfits. We out here.
Outfits, new song.
Yeah, it is a legitimate third entry in the series, finally. So,
well, I mean, let's see. Season 2 of Kingdom Hearts had Sanctuary playing all the time with Sora and those other clothes.
Yeah, and like they also went back to the first song a whole lot too. But yeah, it's from Utada Hikaru, who's done the Sanctuary and the song that I can't think of from Kingdom Hearts 1.
Dang.
The new song's called Don't Think Twice. It's
Simple and clean. Is that what you're thinking?
Simple and clean. Yes. Thank you.
Dude, I don't even like those games. And I know this. You call yourself a fan, you fucking fake fan.
I'm a fake fan. Hashtag fake fan. But yeah, so 2 new trailers. One with this song. One is just like a gameplay trailer. But yeah, looks good. They said 2018 at the end of them. I still believe. I'm here for it. Realistically, I could totally see that game getting pushed to like the first quarter of next year, but it definitely all these things just to help make this feel more real. Which is nice for, again, someone who's been waiting for this forever.
Did any of it seem like it was unfinished?
No, it all looked great. In fact, like the UI has been updated for the trailer, so it's got like the, like in Kingdom Hearts 2, like when you're in a world, the little command menu in the bottom left changes to look like that world. It had that stuff in this trailer where I don't think it had that before. So it showed like the little Monsters Inc. kind of world. It showed way more of the Keyblade transformations into like different weapons, like one of the Keyblades that Sora was using transforms into these 2 yo-yos that he throws around, which is really cool. It looks like those work a lot like the kind of transformation, like elemental transformations from Birth by Sleep, if you remember those, Scott. So it seems like those will like time out after a while, but you'll get like a big finishing move to do a lot of damage with that. They showed some limit breaks. They showed some summons. One of the summons does basically say that one of like the worlds that has been all of the games is not going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, which is a little bit of a bummer for me, but is fine in the grand scheme of things.
Hold on, that's 2 of them.
What do you mean? Oh, like world wise, that won't be in 3. Yeah, the only returning world they've showed so far is Olympus, the Hercules world. Everything else has been new. So,
And we know for sure that one of those worlds is getting cut out.
Yeah, we know for sure one of the original worlds that was in 1 and 2 is not going to be there because of the. Cause usually, if there's a summon from that world, they're not in the game.
Right.
Or that world is not in the game.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. So it's as I could probably tell you, Scott. It was Ariel from Atlantica. So it's like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. We after like the Kingdom Hearts 2 version of that world was just like, what if we did a music game? It was probably like we don't. What if we didn't have ideas for this? So that's fine.
What if somebody thought it was a good idea and then immediately backtracked?
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. Like that makes the most sense of all those worlds too. But yeah, they showed the Tangled world, the Toy Story, Monsters Inc. They finally showed the actual Tangled world, which is cool. So yeah, a lot of new stuff. A lot of it looks very fun. Looks very polished. Looks very good. I'll say so. Man, Kingdom Hearts 3, guys. It's happening, I believe. The only other piece of news I pulled was just that Code Vein, which I'm just trying to keep in everybody's minds, is like anime style, possibly Souls-like as far as gameplay and exploration is concerned. Is also going to have a very Dark Souls-like co-op feature where you can summon other players in your world and gesture and emote to them and whatnot. So. Yeah, I'm really interested in Code Vein. It's coming out some point in 2018. Apparently, it's set to launch in early 2018, but you know we're in here, so we gotta figure out when that's coming out. But yeah, Anime Souls is still the vibe that I get from that game, and hearing that it's kind of got that summoning mechanic in it looks promising. So the screenshot they put out for it was just like 4 like anime looking people just running around with big swords. I'm like, all right, this game might be all right. I pulled something about Nintendo. Nintendo's basically saying, hey, we know like we've got like not a lot said, but we've got something big for this fall, it seems like, for when they announce their online membership. They said, quote unquote, I think our next announcement will be worth the wait. So we'll see how that goes. I'm still very skeptical, but $20 a year is at least not crazy expensive like some of the other ones. That's it for news. Unless you guys had something. Tony, any news happening in the hard-hitting world of Monster Hunter?
I think I covered it already. Ryu is out for PS4 owners if you have a Street Fighter V save.
It's out there.
They've announced the first free monster DLC.
Cool.
There's a trailer out for it. I don't remember which monster it is.
Is it a monster from a previous game?
Yeah. It is. Hold on, because I have this, and there are also Monster Hunter costumes in Street Fighter V now too.
Oh, cool.
And they look freaking. I don't know if they're in the game yet, but they've been like the trailers are out, and it looks dope. It is like scrolling up past all these the Devil Joe.
The Devil Joe.
Which in previous Monster Hunter games, that was the guy who like showed up at your base, or not at your base, showed up like wherever you were fighting the monsters and like just ruined your day. He was like, "Hey, I want to be part of this fight too." Like he was the annoying dude. They're adding him. His weapons were pretty cool. So yeah, that'll be neat. That's the first free monster DLC just to add him in. So yeah,
cool. Let's take a peek at the mail sack. Remember, you can send us questions at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. Email is mailsack@irrationalpassages.com. And voicemail 404-590-1337 if you'd like to leave a voicemail. We'll play or read any of these on the show. First one comes from Tyler Treese at Tyler Treese on Twitter, friend of the show, and co-host the Bro C with me, editor over at PlayStation Lifestyles. He said, should Shadow of the Colossus have a time attack mode? Which it does have, just for clarification. He says,
should it continue to have it?
Should it continue to have it? I feel like it's a gaming edition that takes away from the game's themes and devalues it as art. It's an interesting question. Scott, you've played Shadow of the Colossus, right?
I've played it. I didn't get very far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's only
Yeah,
something
you lent it to me as my TV was breaking,
Yes,
if I
that's
remember correctly.
Yes.
So it became a pain to play because I'd have to play 10 minutes of it, turn the TV off, and walk away,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back
Not a good
every
way to
10
play
minutes.
the game. Yeah. You've never played it, right, Tony?
No.
For folks who don't know, basically after you beat the game, you unlock like a challenge mode where you can refight all of the colossi with a time limit. And in that mode, like if you beat them within the time limit, for every couple that you beat, you unlock like an extra weapon or an extra item that you can then use in the time attack mode or just like in a new game plus kind of play through the game. It is like a very gamey addition to that game that is like very solemn and very serious and pretty hardy. It also, you know, like that game has like difficulty modes and whatnot. I played through, like I remember the original PS2 version I got like really into, and I like did all the time attacks, I did all the fastest times, and I got all the extra stuff, and I played through it on hard and all that. And like I like that stuff. It is the thing. It does really gamify a game that is like kind of morbid and trying to send this message about like how you shouldn't necessarily be killing these things. But that feels like one of those things where it's like, well, you can beat all these colossi in like 7 to 8 hours. This is a $50 game at the time, and we need something to kind of pad it out. It very much seems like something like a publisher would have come down on Japan Studio and said like, hey, you should put more in this. But I don't think it devalues the like the main campaign just playing front to back.
I don't fault them for adding something extra.
Yeah, if they
unless it's actively bad and broken.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not fault them for adding anything extra.
Yeah. And some of like the tools that you get for it are pretty cool. Like one is like a whistle arrow that if you shoot it, it like draws a monster's attention. But the thing is like, yeah, if it was bad, it would be a different thing. But I don't think it hurts that game at all. Just like, you know, they added new secrets in the remake of that game too. Jake Nichols at Jake R. Nichols asked, no question, but what the fuck Alex said he was gonna change the news theme and he hasn't. Maybe someday.
That was always a joke.
Listen, I feel like there was a very small window of time in the middle where it wasn't a joke, but it became a joke.
There is, it wasn't happening ever.
I'd love to make a new knees theme. I just think ours is really good. Maybe in the future. I'm working on a new show. I still have to figure out I have to buy this thing so that we can do this show a little bit more easily on Discord and everything. So I'm doing a lot of other things.
Hangouts are the past, my man.
Yeah, Hangouts are slowly fading. Like I want to get off of Hangouts and onto something better first, and then we will maybe look at changing the news theme. He also says, happy birthday to my favorite Platinum fan, Heart. Happy birthday, Nomishin, wherever you are. Jake Nichols wishes it upon you as well. That's it. That's all I got. I don't think we got any emails. Unless miraculously somebody was like, I want to send Irrational Passions podcast an email. But I doubt it. And the music ended perfectly too. That's the show. Thank you everybody for listening and sending questions. And I do want to just quick round out of things to do at the end here. Before we get into our final segment, you can follow the show on Twitter at IrrationalPod. Get updates on the cool stuff that we're posting on the site. Like I said, we got a couple of things coming up. If you haven't watched it already, you should check out Mike Burgess's video review of Monster Hunter World. I think he did a really great job. It's our first video review in kind of like our new format, so I'm pretty excited to see what we do with it going forward. If you like the show, rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. That actually helps us out a lot. Go listen to our other show, Inputs, hosted by George, Logan, and Jarrett. And check out irrationalpassions.com. Are y'all ready for this? Because now it is time for bets. Which Nabashin was... Excuse me. Nabashin was kind enough to get a bet ready for us this week.
What a guy.
What a guy. Metal
Man.
Gear... This week's bet. Metal Gear Survive releases on February 20th, next Tuesday. Everybody's so excited. Nobody's excited. On Amazon.com, where will the most popular version of the game be ranked in the overall best-selling video games list? So sometimes there's like a PS4, Xbox One version, or like a collector's edition. It's just whatever's the highest on this top 100 ranking. Where will the most popular version? Like, where's the highest it'll be?
Got it.
1 to 100. Nobshin actually already wrote in his bet as well, which was nice of him. I have not looked at it, and if you want to type that, you can send it when you're ready. Ooh.
Hold on.
Take your time, Scott. You're good.
I was like, I gotta find this window behind my like 17 games that I'm playing.
Okay, that's a good spread. Tony bets 17. I bet 50. Nobishin bet 29. Scott bet 30.
Oh, the price is right. Let's go.
I bet Scott's gonna get it on that one too.
I just edged off again.
I just edged him out, and I bet it'll be like 34 or something.
It'll be fucking 31.
Yeah, it'll be. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's fucking good. Last week's bet. I already looked this up just because I wanted to get it out of the way. In the most positive review of Dynasty Warriors 9 on Metacritic, how often would the word warrior be used? Now, let's give us a little context here. I went to Metacritic. A lot of reviews for Dynasty Warriors 9, not a lot of them positive. Apparently this game is not that great, which is a bummer. But there's one 10 out of 10 review. And I went to the link to that review is like mislinked to the wrong post on the site. So I'm like, all right, let me go through this fucking site and dig out this dumb review. And this website, I'm not going to name what it is.
No attention for them.
It doesn't seem that great. I don't know. It was very weird. I control find the number of uses of the word warrior was 24. I bet 13. Option bet 25. Scott bet 2. Tony bet 7. Justin bet 9, and our guest Jess bet 23. So right in the middle of Nobishin and Jess. So they were both on my team. Team Nanashi brings our total up to 3. Winky face. And Team TTP, or TTP, if I may, or Team TP. I don't know how you guys want to go about it. Still rock hard at 1 point.
It's all we need.
That's all you need. I think you guys are doing good. It's early. We're in February. You know, we got a lot of time. Especially when Scott fucking edged out Nobishin on this week's
I think the best part about it is that there's no way I could have known.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Danny Wiesner, for our opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching along with us. It wasn't a long show tonight, but we had a good time.
Good one, though.
It was a good one. It's quality.
Yo, I think that the show should always be this length.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a perfect world. I don't know. We did a long show last week. It was very good.
Yeah.
I just like talking to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because you avoid us for the rest of the week, so yeah.
Exactly. This is the only place I get it.
Yeah.
That's where I get my fix. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Scott, for joining me. As always, big hugs all the way around. Thank you, Nobishin, wherever you are, for doing the bet and just being rad. Happy birthday, bud. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We'll talk to you all next week. Titles. I wrote some titles. It was very front heavy.
Yeah.
It's actually Bit Connect.
Oh, you're right.
Titles are Bit Connect. Normally Tony's just throwing shade. These keys are best keys.
Good.
And hey.
This is good. That's a good read, Tony. What do you guys like? I really like BitConnect.
So funny. It's funny, but I think that a better podcast title is the Russian accent one.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. These keys are the best keys.
Oh, this is so funny. You should watch that whole video because
I'm
it's
thinking-
comedy gold.
I was
Like,
thinking
it's
about it.
so in its time and so of its era that like, oh,
It's like what, like 2004, right?
I don't know. I'd have to open the video back up.
Let's look at this bad boy.
It is from 6 years ago,
2011.
May 13th, 2011.
Is it a repost or is this?
It might be. I don't know.
If you are still using 1, 2, 3, 4, you fucking suck.
And it's like
Russian guy.
you can tell it's from like a specific era of YouTube because like there's an annotation near the play button that says thumbs up for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like pointing to where the thumbs buttons used to be.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's rad. Yeah. Okay, I'm good with that. Are you good with that, Scott?
Yeah.
All right. Tony, you want to say the title? I'll say the episode number.
What if instead you just cut in that guy's voice from the video?
I don't know if he says these keys are best keys. Is the part. I just kind of like paraphrased that because it seemed like a good summary. I could try though. Are you listening? Are you scrubbing through?
I was listening to the first 20 seconds. But yeah, I can say it because I don't think he does say that.
Okay. You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 366.
These keys are best keys.
Hey, you can stop recording now. Thank you everybody for watching. I think this is the shortest podcast I've hosted.
There you go.
Done.
Probably.
But it was all quality.
It was all quality. It was good stuff. Not a lot of news or anything, so.
Yeah. I mean, we could have talked about Billy Mitchell.
No Billy Mitchell on this goddamn podcast. All right, have a good night, video viewers. Bye-bye.